scream. No, definitely no screams here. Today we are going to be, in a moment, cooking Saltfish and Akee. I've got Ashe in the kitchen, and I also have a guest chef, Maxine. And she is going to be telling us what we're doing, explaining a bit of why we're doing it, and she's the one to ask all the questions of, because Ashe and I don't know the answers this week. We'll help you through it. If you have any questions, pop them in the comments, and we will do our best to answer. We will afterwards, we've got a quiz, we've got Daniel and Glenn in the background, waiting with bated breath to do the quiz. Don't worry, some of the questions are a little bit more difficult than others, but we've got some multiple choice questions and some that aren't. Just a little bit of a few things before we get started. I'm really excited. We've got our tech hub, the studio coming along really nicely up in the main building. The floor's down, the walls are painted, there's beautiful lighting up there, so soon we'll be able to have the events up there. And going along with that, we are launching next week our C Hub, that's S-E-E Hub, and that's going to be the place in future where you will get all of these videos. Once they've been recorded, we're going to take them off of Facebook and put them up on our C Hub so you can access all of the videos through one easy portal. On there are also going to be podcasts, audio recordings, other videos we've made, like Ashe and I did how to cook eggs a couple of ways a while ago. And there's also going to be things like some how-tos of how to do some technical things and some how-tos about cooking as well. So if you have any questions about that, pop them in the comments. I will answer them later. But I'm going to hand over to Maxine and Ashe now, so that means I have to get out of the kitchen and hand over to them. So take it away, ladies.
Hi, everybody.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Okay, welcome to the Jamaican national dish, Aki and saltfish with fried dumplings.
So what is Aki? I want to know what Aki is.
I think a number of people want to know what Aki is. Some say fruit, some say veg.
Can you describe it to us? What does it look like?
I think an Aki is, a flat, the best way I can describe it.
Go on.
On the tree then, it looks beautiful on the tree, right? Really pretty colours.
What colour?
Basically, the outer shell, that's an orangey red colour. Then next to that, inside of that, you'll find the Aki itself, which is a yellow fleshy type substance. And in the middle of the Aki, there's a big black seed.
Ah, and so, I presume we don't eat that seed.
No, you don't. No,
okay.
No, you only eat the fleshy bit, but you have to cook the fleshy bit.
Okay.
But how it looks on the tree, it sort of looks like an upside down tulip or an upside down flower, a bell. A bell. If you can imagine a bell, outside is orangey and red, inside the yellow, and then the middle bit, the black.
Okay.
Right.
So I think we've been having a bit of a discussion about whether Aki is a fruit or a vegetable, haven't we? And we can't work it out. So if anyone knows the definitive answer about if Aki is a fruit or a vegetable, let us know. So what do we need to do first?
Vegetable, but anyway. Yes, okay, let's get some, what we're going to do.
We're going to measure the flour now.
We're going to do some fried dumplings.
Yeah.
So normally, if I was at home, forget measurements, I just pour it in. I just go by my own judgments. A bit of salt.
We're going to do some measurements today.
So
yeah, we're doing measurements.
Today we're going to do 250 grams of self-raising flour.
Yes.
But apparently you can also use plain flour and add a bit of baking powder or baking soda.
So I see.
Self-raising flour today.
I'm going to point out the fact that you're using the talking scales.
Oh yeah, we're using the talking scale, so we need 250 grams.
No, 250 grams.
Oh, so if you press the unit button, it will tell us in grams.
Yeah. Okay, we need to.
All right.
There is nothing wrong with weighing out too much. You can always put it back.
250 grams would probably make about 10 mini dumplings there. Well, it depends on how big you roll your dough.
276 grams.
Oh, it's exciting this watching.
Right, been done, I'll tell you what we've done with the saltfish. Saltfish is a cod that has been dried and it's coated in salt to maintain
Preserve
long
it.
life. Yeah, preserve long. Yeah, maintain long life. What we've done with that, you buy it in the shops, and what I've done with that, I had to stand it in some cold water for a few hours to get rid of the excess salt.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so I did that for a couple of hours. You change the water intermittently.
So about how often, how many lots of water do you go through in your...
Maybe 2 or 3 in a couple of hours. Maybe 2 or 3 changes of cold water just to get rid of the excess salt.
Okay.
And what's been previously done now, we've done that, and then I want to soften the saltfish. So I've put it in a pan of hot water to slowly soften.
How long did you do that for?
That's for about 15-20 minutes.
So was that sort of just warm water? Hot
Yeah,
water?
we're just trying to soften the saltfish now,
Okay.
and just get rid of any excess salt, any bits that might be left over. But that process is about softening it now. So we've done that already.
Yeah.
So basically, the next stage with that now is I'm going to get some chopped onions, tomato, gently saute that in a frying pan.
So the chopping onions and chopping tomatoes, we did that in our video when we made bolognese.
Yeah.
So if you want to have a refresher on how to chop your onions and tomatoes, that's the one to look at.
Yeah. So we've got our self-raising flour here, 250 grams. So we're gonna put it in the bowl.
So what are the ingredients in dumplings apart from flour?
So you've got your basic here, self-raising flour. I'm using a bit of salt and water, and we're going to make it into a nice soft dough.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, we're going to make it to a nice soft dough. Some people add a bit of butter, but I'm doing it very basic today. It's going to be the very basic Aki and saltfish.
Brilliant.
Yeah, peppers and all that lot and everything that can go in with it. Right, so Aisha's adding now. What are you adding, Aisha?
Tiny bit of salt, or half a teaspoon.
Half a teaspoon of salt.
Can I put it in my hand?
Okay.
This is Jamaican way, right, people? This is the Jamaican. My hands have been washed, so I'm just going to test the seat. All right then. So she's given me half a teaspoon of salt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just sprinkling that in. That's about right.
That's it,
Yeah, feels about right. If I've got a spoon or something, please, Donna, just quickly mix that together. So while I'm doing this, the frying pan is on the fire. You know, that is slowly...
So you've got a nice big wide frying pan.
Yes.
And approximately how much oil? Have you got just covering the bottom or a little bit more than that?
Just a little bit, maybe just covering the bottom of the pan for the Aki and saltfish.
For the dumplings, how much is that covering?
I'd probably say about...
How many glugs?
I'd probably put in about 3-4 spoonfuls.
4. Yeah.
Okay, 4 spoonfuls.
Yeah.
Brilliant. That was a tablespoon, not a
Yes.
teaspoon. We'll
Yes.
be very precise about that.
Right,
And how
so-
much water are we looking to add? Up to how much?
100.
Millilitres?
100. Yeah, 100 milliliters.
And is that the maximum amount you'll add, Maxine?
No, what I'm going to do now, I don't know. Have you put water in, babe?
No, not yet.
All right,
Yeah.
put some. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to slowly put it in, slowly. Thank you.
So I should dribbled for
Yeah.
about 2 seconds
Keep
some
going,
water
darling.
in whilst Maxine's stirring. She's going to keep dribbling and Maxine's going to keep
'cause we're aiming
stirring.
to get to, right, I've used the spoon in the beginning, but you know, I'm going to revert to the hands now.
Is that because you can feel better what it feels like
That's
under your
right,
hands?
That's right. So I'm reverting to the hands now. Keep pouring some water.
And as long as you've cleaned your hands really
Yes.
well, you're fine to use your hands to
Lovely.
cook.
Got that fire on.
Yeah.
The fire's on.
It's
All right, brilliant. Keep pouring. Yeah,
Okay.
because you just pour it slowly in until you start feeling your flour come together. We need some more water there. Yep, all right, that sounds good. I heard that go in. That sounds good. Okay, it's coming together slowly in a dough. Go ahead, bit more water. But you don't want to overdo the water at all.
So you put it
'Cause if
bit by bit.
Yeah, if you overdo the water, you're going to have to pour more flour on it, and you can keep going forever, and it gets ridiculous.
I've done that when I've been doing icing sugar for cakes.
Right, see, I don't know if you can see people. Can they see what's going on in
They
in
can
the
see,
bowl?
yeah.
Oh, well, those of you who can see anyway.
It's now coming together
It's
into
coming
a
together
ball.
with a little
It's
bit more water.
Not quite sticky yet, it's still a little bit
Lovely,
crumbly.
Lovely, that's about right, it sounds like.
I'm here to do your audio description, Maxine. So just say, I need a bit of audio description here, and I will do that for you.
Okay. Yep. Basically,
It's now got to a little bit of a sticky stage.
That's right.
But it's all together as a ball, no
That's
longer
right,
sticking to the sides.
And, yep, so you can see my bowl is practically clean.
And
Because
Maxine's hands are also clean as well, because it's got to that point where it's cleaning up Maxine's hand as she moves it around. It's now a nice solid...
Lovely. So it's lovely, pliable. Yeah. Yeah. We don't need any more water now. We've got it to a lovely texture, lovely, yeah. So basically, here we go. Right, those of you who don't know how to make dumplings or know what these are fried dumplings, Jamaican fried dumplings. In some parts of the Caribbean, they call it Johnny cake. Other places, I don't know what they call them, but anyway, Jamaica, they call them fried dumplings. So I've picked up a little bit, and I'm making it into a circular motion in my hand.
Okay, but before you did that, you were sort of doing something in the bowl. You were scooping it around and pushing it together. Was that sort of a gentle knead, like you would do with dough?
Yeah, kneading it very gently together, you know, so it all comes together. Bowl is practically clean, hand is practically clean.
Okay.
Because,
So you've got a bit in your hand.
Yes, I've taken out about
what sort of size?
Golf ball size.
Golf ball size. We like to go by balls.
Golf ball size. And what I'm doing, I made it into, it's a nice flattish circle, not too flat. And then I'm sort of rounding it.
Yeah. Between your hands, you've got it between your hands.
Into a ball shape in my hands.
And you're rotating your hands.
Yep, and then I'm going to press the middle in a bit.
So you've now got a donut without the hole all the way through.
Yeah, that's it now. So let me see if the frying pan is hot enough now.
So if you're cooking with hot oil, please always take a lot of care. Do not get too close to it. Do not get your hands too close to it.
Right, so this fire now is, I would say, a low to medium fire.
And we gently place the dumpling in.
Yeah.
And did it start sizzling, or was it before that?
Has it started to sizzle? Because I shows my eyes at the moment.
Just put the rest in here.
Right, okay, then we're going to... Alright, this is the best way to do it. Then we're going to make a load of them now, quickly.
So we're just rolling each in our hands.
Yep.
And then popping a thumbprint in the middle to make it...
Right. Yeah, I'm rolling it. For those of you who can see. Coral, if you're watching, I know you're going on.
So it's a go-full size, pull it into the middle, roll it in your hands, between two hands, then press in the middle to make a sort of, as I said, donut without a hole going all the way through.
That's right, donut without the hole going all the way through.
I think it's technically the shape of a red blood cell, if we're going to be...
A red blood cell?
Yeah, they've got that sort of dome in the top of it.
Okay. Right, so by doing it this way, I'm making them all now, and then we can put them all in the frying pan at the same time, so they're all cooked roughly at the same time.
Okay, so I presume, once you've done this, are we done with the prep? Do I need to move my camera over towards the hole?
Well, yes.
Yeah, because we're going to do the, this Aki and saltfish. Yeah. Right, okay.
Brilliant, so just keeping going. So you've done 1, 2, 3, 4,
how many I've done?
5 at the moment, and the one that was popped in the frying pan earlier has popped up. It's probably almost doubled in height already.
Yep.
We've got a question from Anna. She's just wanting us to clarify how much oil we need. We said about 4 tablespoons, didn't we?
Yes.
And then Maxine, your namesake, Maxine also asks, do they all have to be the same size, or are we going with approximately the same size?
Better, approximately the same size, so they all cook roughly the same time. So these are very tiny ones that I'm making, so they cook quicker. Normally, I'm going to show you what sort of size we normally would do a fried dumpling.
So what size ball would you say this one if the other one was a golf ball? Tennis balls.
Yeah. So this is a bigger one now that I'm putting together. You know what I mean? And this would, I mean, I'm not going to... Yeah, that's a much bigger one compared to the other ones I've just...
It's about double the size of the other ones.
Yes, yeah.
So I presume you're going to make it smaller.
And then bring that back down to my golf ball size. I hope this is all clear to everyone.
It's very clear, Maxine.
Okay.
And earlier on you said to me you wouldn't normally cook when it was quiet.
No, normally you see, the Jamaican household, let me tell you about us.
Do tell me,
There's a bit of music going on in the background, which I would love to, I did try to introduce, but you understand. Yeah.
We decided
I'm going into my Jamaican lingo a little bit.
we
No,
liked the music, Maxine. We just thought that it wouldn't be very clear on the Facebook Live.
Okay.
But I'm sure we can share some ideas of what you'd be listening to.
Yeah.
And we also have some other issues with copyright if we play music.
Oh, come on, I will copyright. But anyway.
I've got one more question
All right.
before I move.
All right, I'm just going to put all the dumplings in now.
Oh, I'm just going to move myself in, so I'm very sorry if any of you have any motion sickness issues. I'm just going to move the camera in and try not to kick anything on the way past. Oh, sorry. And sorry, Maxine, I'm going to about where you are
Okay.
with the camera so we can see what's happening.
So.
And I'm just going to lift the camera up. Yep, I'd have to lift the camera up and then point the camera down. Lift it up
Can you see it there?
and point down.
We're gonna put the rest of the
There we are.
dumplings.
And we had one other question, which is what kind of oil can you use? Any oil. So have we got vegetable oil in here?
What are we using?
Yeah,
Vegetable?
we've got vegetable oil.
What would be your oil of choice, Maxine?
Sunflower.
Sunflower.
Yeah, that would be my oil of choice. That's because I don't really like the smell of vegetable oil. But what the other thing we can do now? Hey, go on, Aisha,
And if you're
she's really
popping
crazy.
something in hot oil and you're not like Aisha, who's very, very careful and make sure she doesn't get her fingers in the oil, I'm sure you can always use a spoon to gently lay them in as well.
Yeah. I'll tell you what the other bit, have we got a fork? I gently prick them now on top.
Alright.
Yeah, I gently just prick each one on top now. Just probably just to let the so they can cook a bit.
Ooh.
Where's that first one that we did, Aisha?
It's here.
All right,
I'm gonna
so turn it and see
over,
what that's
yeah.
if that's starting to go a golden colour yet.
Yes.
Ooh, we got another question as well. Is could you use other kinds of flowers or add another flavour, for instance, coconut?
You can do. People do. Oh, that reminds. Yeah, well, saying that, people also use sugar. Call them sugar
sweet
dumplings.
Ooh.
Yeah. Sorry. Can we get the fire on for the Aki? Because we need to be sautéing the onions and the
So
tomatoes.
whilst we were talking about what oils and what flowers we can use, Maxine has popped a fork, or Aisha did on Maxine's instructions, popped a fork into the top of every dumpling. And the one that went in earlier, which is double the size and is to the sort of 12 o'clock of the pan, if you can see, is a nice golden brown colour because we've turned it over as well.
Right,
so the
Now is
other pan,
Right, so is
which
the
we
other
can
pan
also
hot? Yeah. Is it all
just
hot?
about
Yeah.
see into.
All right, just back. We'll put some onions and tomatoes in there now. Just put them all in together.
So it's a nice
Let me
finely
get-
diced.
Aye, okay. We're going to turn that fire down a little bit because we want it to just gently saute.
Okay.
That's the way.
And we've used a white onion. Is there a reason a white onion?
No, not really. You can use any onion you want.
Because I know Aisha would normally say, and use a red onion.
Oh, no, I'll just use a white onion. So Aisha's mixed, and you put the tomatoes in as well. All right, put it. Yeah, just stick it down. Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
the tomatoes are bigger than the onions, but not a really big chunk.
No, not big chunks. No. So we're going to let that saute beautifully now. We need the fire a little bit. Oh, is it all right?
It's low, yeah.
Low to medium.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So we're going to let that saute really beautifully.
And we're
now.
listening to it rather than
Yeah.
looking, because I can hear a gentle sizzle.
Yeah. Is this sizzling?
Yeah, they're both sizzling.
Lovely.
So
low heat,
Maxine
yeah.
was asking about the dumplings. Maxine herself is also visually impaired, so she does a lot of her cooking by listening rather than looking.
Yes.
And I'm imagining when you're cooking at home, is it a bit more difficult with the music playing?
No,
Or are you
the
used to
music,
listening?
You just flow into the music and you just go with it and you just, yeah. A bit of music in your flour, a bit of music in your food, yeah. Yeah.
So there are lots of, if you're looking at the dumplings, there are lots of little light bubbles in the oil. They're not overly enthusiastic.
I suppose if you were frying a sausage, would it be on the sort of same basis, very gentle?
Yeah, nice gentle
Because you want
fry.
it to cook with it,
Yeah.
get inside as well and cook inside from the inside out.
We're cooking everything gently rather
Yeah.
than. Oh, here's a question. Can you cook dumplings in an air fryer?
Yes.
Okay, are there anything we have to think about if we're cooking in an air fryer?
I don't like it, but I think, yeah, for me, going back to the basics is this, because I've seen a lot of people now. I mean, I'm not sure, is the air fryer the mean a deep fat fryer sort of
No,
thing?
it doesn't have oil, I think. I think that's what we're
Oh.
talking about. I've seen them advertised, but I haven't got one myself.
I've never seen, I don't know, I couldn't say for definite, I'm sure you could. But I've seen them start to fry them in deep fat fryers, which I don't like that idea. It's easier, but it makes it greasy.
Ah.
I think there's too much grease in the flour.
So, by the sound of it, an air fryer wouldn't make them greasy, but they
No.
might be too dry, I wonder.
Maybe well, I think probably with that then I'd probably add a bit of butter into my mixture.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
So,
into my flour mixture.
I think the answer is if you have an air fryer, you're going to have to play around with the settings. Try a little bit of butter, try a little bit less oil, see how it goes. And Aisha's now just stirring the onion and tomato mixture, just gently, trying not to make the tomatoes fall apart.
Okay, I think we can start to turn over some of these and see how they're going.
So we're using a slotted spoon to just gently turn the dumplings, pushing them against the side.
Yeah.
Are they starting to go
Oh,
golden?
they're looking
Yeah,
very beautiful,
yeah.
golden brown.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we want to gently fry them,
Yeah.
gently. So we want the inside to cook, go golden brown. If they get dark brown,
So I think that's just, we keep a little bit of an eye on it and we don't worry too much.
that's right.
Oh, there we are.
Right, so
Oh,
onions and tomatoes sauteed
So-
beautifully now. What I'm going to do now is chop up. Oh right, is the codfish chopped up?
Yeah, it
Saltfish
is.
chopped
Yeah,
up?
it's all chopped up.
Oh,
Everything
oh.
is.
so what sort of size pieces did you chop your saltfish into?
It's, medium size. I
Chunks. So well, it depends because people may not know how saltfish comes.
How does saltfish come? Explain to me.
It comes in a packet. It's probably the size of a. I don't know what size is that, Catherine.
First joint of an arm.
Yeah.
First joint of your arm.
First joint of your arm.
I'm not very good with dimensions.
All right, let's go back to feet and inches. Right, okay, about
It's about the size
6
of a
inches.
ruler.
About
Yeah.
6 inches it may come, and it'll be wrapped in cellophane, which covered in salt, wrapped in cellophane. So it's up to you how much you want to chop it up. Let me see. It's hard to know how to chop it. It's how big you want your pieces. Yeah.
Because the thing is, as you cook them, it
breaks
breaks
apart.
So
Anyway,
you
yeah.
don't fuss too much about you chopping it small or medium. It breaks anyway.
So just a little bit of chopping up, so it's not a big piece.
Exactly. So you don't have this big lump.
So what we're
in
going to
there.
do now is add the saltfish.
I have a little question about the dumplings. I noticed that when they went in, all of the sort of impressed ones went in first. The
No, they were all
impressed side.
impressed.
But
Oh.
were they impressed on both sides or just the one?
Oh, it was just on the one side. Yes, I put the flat side. Yeah.
So we're
The
just going to
impressed side was
go.
on the top.
We're
yeah.
going to. We also have a question. We'll go over it again. What saltfish is? So I don't
Right,
think
it's
we.
salted cod. It's salted cod, which has been preserved in. It's cod, which has been preserved in salt
Okay.
to make it last longer. I mean, it's something that can keep for months. You know, so yeah, you tend to buy it in mainly Indian Asian shops or Caribbean, anywhere that sells Caribbean food.
So I could wander into West Croydon and pick some up.
Yes.
Okie
And
dokie.
can we put the saltfish in now, please?
Sorry, I
Yeah.
distracted you.
Yeah, that needs
So-
to go in now. So
Could
That's
you?
the saltfish
Would
going in.
would it work if you used fresh cod?
no,
Okay, that's the answer. You have to use salt cod.
yeah.
So you just tipped the saltfish into the onion and tomato mixture,
Yes.
and then I just give it
Give
a
it
little
nice
stir to
Don't
make
stir
sure
it too much now.
it's all
because we wanna
together.
hold it. So we're going to add now the Aki, the famous Akis. Yeah.
So the Aki is in a tin,
Yes.
and it says it's Aki in brine. Does Aki
Yeah.
come in other things?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Because normally in the Caribbean we just pick them off the trees. It's only because they have to be brought over here
Yeah.
and they have to
Okay.
tin them up and what.
So do we need to?
That
It's
is a bit too high, sweetie. That fire.
That's
Okay.
the lowest.
That's the lowest?
Yeah.
All right then.
It
Yeah.
should be okay. It's
okay.
fine.
So I've also noticed it's still in the brine. Are we going to pop it all in?
We're going to just throw everything. Some people at this point would say drain the Aki, drain it.
Mhm.
But I just pour everything in because it helps to add to the sauce to give it
Yeah.
a bit more. Because in other words, if I didn't do that, I then have to add extra things to make a sauce
Okay.
to come through. Even although the tomatoes and onions there's making their own, But
I think
It's the
this one
easy cooking.
gives it more flavour
Okay.
because you're
Alright.
using the water
We had a
itself.
question. Does the
Should I
salt?
put it now?
Yeah, you pop that in.
Yeah.
I'll ask the question. Does the salt soak into the fish? So I think. Let me see if I remember from what you said earlier. Because we have to soak the salt for at least 2 hours, changing the water a couple of times, and then we boil it to get rid of all the excess salt. It sounds like the salt does soak in because it's a preservative.
Yes.
So we're getting a
trying
lot
to
of
get
it out
yes.
before we cook with it.
yes, we're trying to get as much of it out as possible.
Okay.
Right. So if we can, is that a wooden spoon?
Yeah.
Can we just pick up one piece of Aki?
And then can you pop it about here?
Yeah, kind of show them.
You see it. That's
Can
it.
I I'll be in charge of the camera and the
Yeah.
wooden spoon. So this is an Aki. It's sort of a yellow half moon.
It looks like a scrambled egg.
Well, that's
It does look a bit like scrambled egg.
You can
That's
describe it,
definitely.
It,
I'll have
the
that
look
back
is
in
probably
motion.
scrambled egg. The
Yeah.
taste is probably it's so hard to scrambled egg softened.
Softened scrambled egg.
Yeah,
Okay,
a
we'll-
hard boiled egg. The yolk softened.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll get our taste testers in the moment to tell us what it
So
tastes
what's
like.
about the chili?
All right, now we're going to add a bit of seasoning. Now.
Okay, the chili powder that we have, it says on it extra hot chili powder.
Well, right. So now we're going to go very gently on the seasoning because I'm very heavy-handed.
We tried this earlier and we learnt from our earlier try. Let's put it that way.
No. Some people. No, I'm going to correct that one.
Okay, some of us learnt from
If
your earlier
you're
try.
from the ethnic minority, they loved it. If you're from the fairer complexion, they
Those
found
of us
it
who don't do very
they
well
found it
with
quite
spices.
Spicy. Yeah, they found it quite spicy and hot.
Is that mixed herbs?
No, this is black pepper. Isn't
Wow.
it?
Black pepper?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So half a teaspoon of black pepper.
Does it have to be black pepper? If you had white pepper, would that be okay?
If you prefer white pepper, yeah, you
Or-
can do. This is at this point, because this is very basic. I've done it with very basic, that can do. People add anything they want to add at this point. So if you want to add all-purpose, curry powder, anything you want to add, or some people add sweet corn, some people add red peppers, green peppers to give
Ooh.
colour. You know, you can add whatever you wish at this point. And then we're going to leave it then to slowly simmer.
So I'm gonna put a little bit of
Chili.
is that about half a teaspoon again? Or is it about a teaspoon?
Quarter teaspoon, I would say, because we did half
Quarter
a teaspoon
teaspoon.
last
It
week.
was yes, quarter of a teaspoon. So that
Okay,
should be
once we've done this, we are going
A
to...
gentle mix.
mix, gentle mix.
Gentle mix, lovely.
Yeah.
That's it.
Just to make sure that everything is coated, that
Yes.
your spices are in your juice, I'm guessing.
That's it.
So that's about
Put your
it.
lid on, and that's you done.
So I'm going to leave you guys in the kitchen,
That's it.
and we're going to go over to our official quizzes. So I'm just going to give Daniel, who's been wonderfully working the keyboard, a chance to get to his seat. And I'm just going to pop the camera back down whilst I move, otherwise I will get myself in a pickle.
So we're leaving this all now to the Aki and saltfish to simmer for about 15-20 minutes.
Which is just enough time for us to do our quiz.
And the fried dumplings, another 5 minutes and they'll probably done.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. So I'm just going to very carefully, very sorry if you have motion sickness, I'm moving out again. Okay, we're just sorting ourselves out, getting a little bit of water. Sorry about that crash when I went down. And we're going to leave the chefs cooking in the kitchen. We have our taste testers ready, but they have to work for their food. We don't just let people have food, you have to earn it. So you are going to be running the quiz. I'm going to hand over to Daniel. I'm going to pop round, so I'm going to be on the comments now, both verbally and by text.
Hi everyone, welcome to Facebook Live. My name is Daniel, I'm your new Engagement Wellbeing Officer. You might have heard me or seen me around, obviously at reception or heard me on the phone. I've been new to Cooling Mission, it's my 5th week now, so really excited to be here. We're going to have a quiz. Thank you first of all to Ashe, Maxine and Catherine for doing some amazing cooking. We are looking forward to it, aren't we, Glenn? to have a bit of a nice Aki and saltfish and some dumplings. I can't wait. So what we're going to do while that's cooking away is, as mentioned, Catherine said, we're going to do a quiz. So my part of my quiz is going to be on Black History Month. So I'm going to do 10 questions. Glenn is going to do a history quiz.
Yeah, I'm just doing a general knowledge history quiz on things that's happened in history. Let's see how much our members know about their history.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to that. If you have a pad or a piece of paper or your phone, please write the answers down. I will do a multiple choice question. I'll repeat them twice, so it gives you a bit of a time to kind of soak in that knowledge and rack your brains and see what you come up with. So yeah, let's begin with our first question. So, would you like to go first, Glenn?
Oh,
and then
yes,
I'll follow?
please.
Yes.
I would like to go first. Okay,
Glenn is so enthusiastic, it's great.
just remember, do not put your answers in the comments, because other people will be able to see them.
That's right.
So I will go through my quiz first, and it's 10 questions. I'll read them out twice, and good luck. So my first question is, who was Henry VIII's last wife? Who was Henry VIII's last wife?
Is that the last one he married rather than the last one that survived?
I'll give you a clue. We have a member of staff who works at Croydon Vision whose full name is the same as Henry VIII's last wife. Okay, so if you think of all the members of staff that work here, it could be Glenn.
I don't think so.
It could be Daniel. We don't know who was the last wife. My next question. Although never taking her seat, who was the first woman to be elected to the House or Houses of Parliament? Okay, I'll repeat that question. Although never taking her seat, who was the first woman to be elected to the Houses of Parliament? Quite a strange one, really, when you think of the struggle that the suffragettes went through to get the vote. And then a lady's elected, and then she doesn't take her seat. Strange, huh? Okay, my third question. Which English king died in 1066, leaving no heir to the throne?
Oh, he was the one that caused all those troublesome wars, wasn't he? And the only thing I know about 1066 is the Battle of Hastings.
That's a famous date.
But don't get confused with that king, though. So, which English king died in 1066, leaving no heir to the throne? Question 4. In which European country was there a civil war between 1945 and 1949? Again, in which European country was there a war between 1946 and 1949? So that would have been straight after the end of the Second World War. And then we have somebody deciding that wasn't enough, we need a civil war. Question number 5. Which St. Albans pub claims to be, sorry, my screen's gone off. Which St. Albans pub claims to be the oldest English pub? So for all you pub goers, first of all, condolences. But for which St. Albans pub claims to be the oldest English pub?
I'm glad you put St Albans in there because I think there are lots of pubs that claim to be the oldest English pub.
Question number 6. Who discovered penicillin?
Oh, I know that one.
I discovered penicillin when I was younger. I said, what is on that apple? And my mum said it was penicillin. So my mum did.
But who discovered it first and worked out what it was useful for? Let's say that, shall we, Glenn?
Okay, so question number 6. Who discovered penicillin and what it was useful for? Okay, question number 7. What year did the Titanic sink? Okay, again, question number 7. What year did the Titanic sink?
That's taxing our memories, because I remember the centenary, so I know it's over 100 years ago. But I'd be a little bit difficult on the exact year. You're very mean, Glenn.
I should ask you a trick question.
Oh, a trick question.
Yeah, what year did the Titanic raise? Because I've watched the film. Okay, question number 8. Who were the other 2 astronauts with Neil Armstrong on the Apollo 11 mission? Okay, I'll read it again. Question number 8. Question number 8. Who were the other 2 astronauts with Neil Armstrong on the Apollo 11 mission? Now, I'm going to be really fair about this, and I'm going to say that if you give me one name, I will give you 1 point. If you give me 2 names, I will give you 2 points.
Oh, that's very nice of you, Glenn.
All right. So I can't be any more generous than that. Question number 9. Which Hertfordshire town had the first ever roundabout in the United Kingdom? Okay, I'll read it again. Which Hertfordshire town had the first ever roundabout in the United Kingdom? So if you think of the United Kingdom as England, Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland, there was a Hertfordshire town. Oops, my screen's gone off. There was a Hertfordshire town that had the first roundabout. Which one was it?
That's testing your geography as well.
Yeah.
Where's Hertfordshire?
It's in England.
I know where Hampshire is. I know where Surrey is.
It's in the UK somewhere.
Essex.
And question number 10. Which new British military force was established in 1918? I'll read it
That would be
again.
my guess.
Which new British
That would be my
military
guess.
force was established in 1918?
I'm guessing by doing an action behind the camera.
Yep. I will accept an abbreviation of it, but I cannot accept any wrong answers. Alright?
Ooh.
And also, just remember this, 1918 was 1 year after the First World War ended. Alright, so, the answers.
Wait a minute, we'll just give a little bit of time. I just, if anyone wants any questions repeated, please pop them in the comments. We will give you about 10 seconds to do that, because I know there is a little bit of a delay. But once Glenn starts reading out the answers, we will not repeat questions. I just want to say, I've got Dumplings sitting here by me, and you're really lucky the fact that I haven't nibbled on any of them yet.
That'll be our job.
Okay, so we haven't got anyone coming in asking for any answers, any questions to be repeated. So Glenn, please do give us the answers.
Okay, so the answer for question 1 was Catherine Parr. Woo! And so the member of staff, what's her name?
That's not the full name though, first name is correct. But that did only narrow it down to half of them. Or 2 of them. There were 2 Catherines.
Yeah. So,
2 Annes and a Jane.
question number 2. It is Constance Markievicz. Constance Markievicz. I'll spell that last name for you. Markievicz.
Markievicz, is that then?
Markievicz? Yeah?
I don't know. I'm
Let's go
just
with that
going
one.
to. I'm just going to say, can you quickly be really nice and give question number 3 first before giving the answer.
Question number 3.
Yeah. Sorry, Glenn.
Read question number
Yeah.
3 again? Okay. Question number 3. Which English king died in 1066, leaving no heir to the throne?
So we'll give you a little bit of time to think about that, and then Glenn will give us the answer. You're allowed to hum tunes, that's fine.
So, it's Edward the Confessor.
Mm-hmm.
Edward the Confessor. So if you put Edward or Confessor or both in the same sentence, then yeah, full points for you. Question number 4, that's to do with which European country had a civil war between 1946 and 1949, and it is Greece.
Ah. They decided they hadn't had enough of the fighting and wanted to keep going.
Yeah. Question number 5. Yeah, which St Albans pub claims to be the oldest pub in the UK?
It's got to have royal in the name somewhere.
No.
Oh, doesn't it?
It is Ye Oldie Fighting Cocks.
You do know that Y isn't a Y. It's technically a TH sign.
For the
Yeah.
Oldie. Oh, is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, so the Y, it was originally called a thorn. Here's a little bit of history. The Y was originally, the symbol was close enough to a Y, so that when typesets came out, they used the Y in the place of a thorn to save on having an extra character. But that Y shape is actually a TH sound.
Right, so if you put the Oldie Fighting Cocks, then I will give you half a point. I'll give you a full point. Question number 6.
Which was who discovered penicillin?
Who discovered penicillin? Apart from my mother, it was Alexander Fleming. Alexander Fleming discovered
I
penicillin.
think there was something about mouldy bread, wasn't it, with Alexander Fleming, if I remember rightly? Or was it the dishes in the sink?
I have no idea.
If you know the story about Alexander Fleming and the penicillin, let us know.
Okay, question number 7. In which year did the Titanic sink? It was 1912. If you put 1911, wrong. If you put 1913, wrong. It was 1912. Okay, question number 8. Which
With the 2 astronauts with
were the other 2 astronauts that went with Neil Armstrong in the Apollo 11 mission? And I think everybody should know the first one.
Oh, Maxine, do you know both of the answers?
Just one. Buzz Aldrin.
Buzz Aldrin
Buzz.
was one.
What?
Buzz Aldrin.
Buzz Aldrin
Was one.
was one.
Yes.
And who was the other one?
That's the one that we are all very bad and don't know the answer to.
Okay, it is Michael Collins.
And if I remember rightly, either Buzz Aldrin or Neil Armstrong's mother's maiden name was Moon. I can't remember which one it was though.
Oh, that's interesting.
You imagine if you kept hold of that name?
It would be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah, 2 men on the moon, 3 men on the moon. Okay, question number 9. Which UK...
which Hertfordshire town had the first ever roundabout in the UK?
That's it. Which Hertfordshire town had the first ever roundabout in the UK? And the answer is Letchworth. Okay, so now we know. Letchworth. And the final question, question number 10. Which military force was established in 1918? It is the Royal Air Force.
Oh, I was right. I was putting my wings out and pretending to fly in the background.
Taking off in the background.
If you put down the RAF, I will give you the point.
If you've done a drawing of a plane, I think you also deserve a point. You might even deserve a bonus point for drawing a plane. So,
Okay, total up your figures. Yeah, total up your figures, and then please put your figures in the comments, and we can give you the round of applause. Whoever wins, we give you a round of applause.
Brilliant.
Or a virtual plate of Aki and Saltfish.
Yeah.
well, what stage are we at the moment, Aisha?
Yes, the dumplings are done. And it's all
So
there.
we'll wait and see how you've done. Don't worry if it's not a high score. I know I wouldn't have done very well this time. I knew Fleming. I knew Buzz Aldrin. I guessed the Royal Air Force. I think I might have just about got Edward the Confessor if I'd really thought about it, but I wouldn't have done very well.
I knew them all because I had the answers.
So Maxine is currently, she's on 3.
Well done, Maxine.
Well done, Maxine. Let's see if anyone else is going to give us a score. Who have we got? We've got Bob, we've got Anna, and we've got a couple other. Jennifer was on earlier.
Okay.
And then a couple of other people I think have been dropping in and out, so I don't know if they've managed the whole quiz. So, do we want to take a little... Is it time for an Aki break before we do the second round of the quiz?
Yes,
Is that the food?
That's the food.
That is the magic word. We want that's the most important answer, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the second round, this was our basic history round.
Yeah.
Well, when I say basic history, very difficult history because Glenn is a mean quiz setter. So I don't know if we'll let him do. Don't worry, Anna. I'm sure you'll do better than the other side of the quiz.
Yeah, but I'm going to just put this around the edge.
So we're just doing a little bit of making it look pretty as well. So I'm going to ask when Aisha brings the food through that she can pause in front of the camera so we can see what it looks like.
Looks good from here.
Oh, we've got someone who is drawing with Maxine. Ola also got 3.
Wow. So we've got a bit of an interaction around the drawing and...
Well, I don't know if he drew a picture, but he got 3 questions right. Yeah. We don't have a black plate.
Okay.
So we're just laying up the food on the plate, and we're having a bit of a discussion. It would look much better on a black plate because it's a very light-coloured meal. So if you want it to look really stunning, put it on a black plate. And don't worry, we missed the fact you knocked your cup over.
Oh,
It's all part of life.
I was trying to clear the table for the food. I have to warn everybody not to step down here. There's water on the
Like
floor.
that then, yeah?
Okay, do you want to bring a plate and then pop it in front of my camera so we can see it?
All right.
Only put,
Yeah.
brilliant, and we'll need some cutlery as well. So,
Oh, is everybody going to try it? Is it?
Aisha,
Ah, yeah, show the camera.
a little bit. Let me have the camera because I can.
Okay.
There we are. I'm being very careful not to tilt it too much. And there's Daniel's taking his plate. I'm sorry, we don't want the food to be cold, so we're letting them have a little bit of a taste, not eating it all. A little taste.
It looks beautiful, guys.
Just before anybody levied any horrible remarks at me, I was actually asked a number of weeks ago. I was asked by a gentleman as to what my schedule would be for this Thursday. I told him I was available, and lo and behold, I'm here. So,
Thank you, Aisha, for clearing up the little bit of water. You only get to get one taste.
Right, one taste.
One taste, and then we're back to the quiz because otherwise that's unfair on these guys.
Right here, in front of you.
It's right there. There's dumplings on the plate.
And dump into there. Thank you.
Yeah, round the edge.
Maxine and I should have a great job.
That's it. We hope it tastes good. Hope there's not too much salt in the dumpling. Ooh.
That's yummy, guys. It's really
So
nice.
how would you describe Aki then?
I would describe Aki as tasting like scrambled eggs.
It's got an interesting soft texture.
It's got a very soft texture,
A nice heat.
a nice juicy kind of.
And you can also have a bit of your dumpling so we can compare that.
Thank you very much.
Oh, I like that, Glenn. None of this cutlery
Well, I
malarkey.
just wanted to show the viewers.
He knows how to eat
I'm
Yes.
sorry.
There we go.
I've washed my hands already, I've sanitised them.
Oh.
So is a traditional way to eat your dumplings with your fingers?
Yeah.
Well, you need a spoon or a fork to eat the Aki and saltfish, but you can,
What you could even do, you can put the Aki and saltfish on the dumplings.
Oh no, come on guys.
Yes, that's what you do.
Okay, right, I'm going to have to get you to stop now because we've got to do the next bit of the quiz. You can have some more later.
Okay, we'll have a little break for now.
Alright, do you want to do that?
Thank you, Maxine.
So it tastes good, does it,
Oh,
guys?
it's yummy, guys. Thank you very
I've
much.
got it, then. I've got it, darling.
Thank you.
I've got it.
Okay, so
What's this chair on the corner here?
we definitely had a couple of the members of staff said they want to have some themselves, so don't dish it all out.
Highly recommended, guys.
So let's have the second part of the quiz, please, guys.
Okay, so thank you for Glenn for obviously the first part of the quiz. We're going to go into our Black History Month quiz, so we're going to do 10 questions. Again, I'll repeat the questions twice, gives you a chance to sort of collect your thoughts and write them down, or please don't comment in the comments section, as mentioned before, just on a piece of paper or whatever. Do a drawing. I'd love to sort of see how that goes along. So the first one. What was the first American colony to abolish slavery? What was the first American colony to abolish slavery? Was it Alabama, Vermont, Florida, or Ohio?
Ooh,
Alabama, Vermont, Florida, or Ohio?
wow. So if you can't remember what they are, you can always go A, B, C, or
Yeah,
D.
C or D, perfect. Yeah. Okay.
I think I'd guess somewhere up north, but that would be me. But I don't know if that would be right. I could be leading you astray.
Well, yeah, we'll soon find out.
We will.
So, yeah, obviously a prominent part of American history in terms of the abomination of slavery. So one of those was the area. Second question. What was the first black newspaper? Was it A, the Black History Press, B, the Times, C, the Journal Freedom, or D, the Freedom's Journal? I'll repeat that for you. So a bit of a journalism here going on. Prominent first black newspaper. Was it A, Black History Press, B, the Times, C, the Journal Freedom, or D, the Freedom's Journal? Anyone sort of got an inkling here?
I have no inkling.
No? Okay.
I'd be playing potluck on that one, but at least it's a 1 in 4 chance.
It's a big sort of statement, isn't it? First black newspaper.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to, if anyone's familiar with your sports, this is a good one to go out there. Arthur Ashe was a famous what? Basketball player, B, tennis player, or C, track star?
I know the answer.
You know the answer to this one?
Well done.
Good man, good man. I'll repeat that again. So Arthur Ashe was a famous A, basketball player, B, tennis player, or C, track star? And Arthur Ashe, as I know who he is, and an amazing athlete, certainly. And I won't give away who he was famous for, but yeah, he made an impact in this sport. So. Number 4. Oh, we had a little trial of this one early. So Garrett Morgan is responsible for which 2 inventions? Garrett Morgan is responsible for which 2 inventions? Again, like Glenn, you get 2 points for this one because there's 2 things he invented. Was it A, the traffic light and cars, B, a gas mark and a stop sign, or C, traffic lights and gas mark? I'll repeat that again. Garrett Morgan is responsible for which 2 inventions? A, traffic lights and a car, B, gas mask and a stop sign, or C, a traffic lights and a gas mark? Oh, really exciting because these are day-to-day things that we use and we see around us, so prominent inventions.
And I know that one as well.
You know that one?
So that's 2. That's 2.
Oh, no.
2 out of 4 so far for that? Okay. Right, moving on to
Oh,
question.
could we have that question again, please?
Sure. Garrett Morgan, Garrett, G-A-R-R-E-T-T, Morgan, is responsible for which two inventions? A, traffic lights and cars. B, gas mark and the stop sign. And C, traffic lights and gas marks.
Oh, that was question number 3.
Sorry, Arthur Ashe. Going back to Arthur Ashe.
We are going back to Arthur Ashe.
Arthur Ashe was a famous basketball player, A, B, tennis player, or C, track star? So Arthur Ashe, basketball player, tennis player, or track star? Right, moving over to question 5. Charles Drew, D-R-E-W, is responsible for which of the following? Other famous inventions here going on. Is it A, the refrigerator, B, blood banks, or C, plastic surgery? So I'll repeat that. Charles Drew is responsible for which of the following? A, a refrigerator, B, blood banks, or C, plastic surgery? Glenn, have you got any ideas?
I have, but I'm going to keep it to myself because I'm very competitive. I need to win.
I understood that the first time.
You're not getting a virtual round of applause because you didn't do the first round.
Right. I'm going to move on to question 6. Oh, this is an interesting one. Who started the first Back to Africa movement and was later deported back to the homeland of Jamaica? So who started the first Back to Africa movement and was later deported back to his homeland in Jamaica? Was it A, Malcolm X, B, James Del Rio, or was it C, Marcus Garvey? So I'm going to give you the answers again. Who started the Back to the Africa movement? Was it and was later deported back to his homeland in Jamaica? A, Malcolm X, B, James Del Rio, or C, Marcus Garvey? Anyone? Aisha? You guys are thinking there.
I'm hanging my head in shame.
No,
Glenn, you got an idea?
I know I've got a real good idea who it is.
Yeah,
he's
he's
one
a
of
very
my
prominent person.
Yeah, he's one of my heroes.
Yep, 100%. Question 7. In what year did Harriet Tubman, I apologise if I said her last name.
Tubman. I've been being told from.
Tubman.
Tubman.
Thank you, Maxine. Tubman escaped slavery. Was it 1797? A, was it 1849? Or was it C, 1929? So in what year did Harriet Tubman escape slavery? A, 1797, B, 1849, or C, 1929? Anyone have? Well, considering you knew the name there, Maxine, do you know the year?
No.
I love that. No.
All right, the clue may be that she helped a lot of slaves to escape.
Yeah.
So we know slavery period from about the 1600s right up to the yeah.
Ooh,
the
okay.
90s. So
Maxine's giving us some good hints.
Maxine's kind of working those clues in there. All right, number 8. Which author who wrote "I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings"? So who wrote "I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings"? Is it A, Maya Angelou, B, Alice Walker, or C, June Jordan? So a famous book. Who was the author who wrote "I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings"? Was it A, Maya Angelou, B, Alice Walker, or C, June Walker? Then you much of a reader?
I do, and I know the answer as well.
You know that one again? Again, it's a competitive slate.
The author is one of my favourite authors.
Right, yeah, she's a wonderful work. Well, no, but they're all lady authors.
They're not all female.
But that's a very good book.
They are the names I've just said are all female authors.
Why the Caged Bird Sings.
So
It's a very interesting story.
Yes, you've read that, Maxine.
Yes.
Yeah, brilliant. So number 9. Who is generally considered the mother of civil rights movement? So we've got A, Susan B. Anthony, B, Rosa Parks, or C, Harriet Tubman. So who is generally considered the mother of the civil rights movement?
I know who I would
We know
guess.
you know it, but do they know it? That's okay. So, is it A, Susan B. Anthony, B, Rosa Parks, or C, Harriet Tubman?
I think none of those.
Aisha knows.
I know where I would guess.
Yeah, you
is
have
the
a good
answer.
guess, Catherine. That's good.
I've got competition for my
Here you go. It's not all you. Okay, you have competition, healthy competition. Our last question there, Facebook viewers. So, the best-selling or award-winning book, The Colour Purple.
Oh, I've heard of this book.
Yeah, famously, was also made into a hit movie starring Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah.
Again, who is the author of this amazing book?
Oh.
Is it A, Terry Macmillan, B, Steven Spielberg, C, Alice Walker, or D, Richard Wright? So, I repeated that. Number 10, the best-selling award-winning book, The Colour Purple, was also a hit movie starring Whoopi Goldberg. The author is A, Terry Macmillan, B, Steven Spielberg, or C, Alice Walker, and D, Richard Wright. Maxine, you got an idea?
Oh, I know that.
Oh,
That
good,
is my
good.
favourite movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
The book
And
is
the book,
amazing as well.
yes, favourite.
Oprah Winfrey starred in that.
Yeah,
And
Oprah
you
Winfrey was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Dan Glover was in it as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
If you can watch it, please watch it.
Yeah,
You need, it's
I
about
know.
3 hours long.
Yeah.
So take a break, prepare to take a break halfway.
I'd need at least 2 tea breaks in there.
No,
Yeah, but it is- no, you have all your wine and everything one side, right? Yeah.
You'll be so glued to the screen
Yeah.
you don't want to.
Okay.
Right. That's right.
Nice comfy couch, you're away. That's the time. It's a bottle of wine.
So we're giving you a little bit of time just to think through your
Yeah.
questions. When you're ready, if you need any more, just let us know. We'll pop some.
That's right.
We'll
yeah,
repeat
we're happy
any.
to repeat it. Yeah.
But you've been asking if we've been going along. That's fine as well. So we're going to give you a little bit more time talking about the colour purple, where I would need me tea and Maxine would need her wine.
Yeah. Yes.
And just while we're waiting, Maxine, you said you always listened to music whilst you were cooking.
Yes.
What sort of music how would you describe the music you're listening to?
Right, okay. Depending on my frame of mind, I suppose that's generally in general for most people, you know. But if I'm really I'm on, you know, in full flow. It's mainly Jamaican reggae music, and you know, it's not the rude stuff because there's some rude stuff out there. That's not me. You know, it's nice, dance along, sing along, and yeah, you're putting some of that flame, that dance into that food.
We're going to have to get you down here to cook when we're not filming so we can have the full experience.
Yes, everybody dancing along and you just bounce along.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we haven't had anyone asking for some more questions
Oh, so
repeated,
that's
so
good.
please
So
do give
then.
us the answers.
Okay, so I'll read them and then give you the answer if that helps. So number 1 was, what was the first American colony to abolish slavery? The answer is Vermont. Vermont.
I think that's probably where I would have gone for. As I
You
said,
said
up
sort of
north,
up north?
up north somewhere.
Yeah.
Some people would probably say down south, maybe Alabama.
Alabama.
Yeah.
They all live in the north.
Yeah, but maybe not, of course. So number 2 was, what was the first black newspaper?
And it's not The Voice.
It's not the Voice. It was called the Freedom's Journal. The
I
Freedom's
did wonder if
Journal,
it was one because you had the Journal of Freedom and the
yeah, it's a
Freedom
bit of a trick
Journal.
question, but yeah, it's pretty off there. And we were referring to number 3 was a famous sports star. So Arthur Ashe was famous for what sport? It was tennis. Yes, got that one right, tennis. And speaking of tennis, I know Odette's going to be doing some tennis tomorrow, so that's going to be fun. Number 4, Garrett Morgan is responsible for which 2 inventions? Did you think you knew this one?
I knew this one. It
Right.
was the last one, which is the traffic light and the gas mask.
That's correct. Right, point for you, and you get some of that Aki and Saltfish as well.
Yeah.
Slowly.
And I'll get it as well. Right, number 5, Charles Drew is responsible for which of the following? The answer was blood banks. So blood banks. It wasn't plastic surgery or refrigerator, it was blood banks. Number 6, who started the Back to Africa movement and was later deported back to his homeland in Jamaica? One of your personal heroes? And mine, Mr. Marcus Garvey. Yes. Woo. All right, number 7. We had a discussion about that. In what year did Harriet Tubman escape slavery? Maxine, you were kind of thinking sort of 16th century, right?
16th, 17th, yeah, when it was all
17th?
No, I think she was later than that.
It was
actually.
I was
later.
thinking, I was hoping 18th and not 19th.
It was 1849. to be precise,
Yeah.
Worth the effort. Which author? Everyone kind of connected this book, beautiful book. Which author wrote "I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings"? Did you know you read the book?
Yes.
Can you name the author?
Maya Angelou.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
Maya.
nice one, Maxie. Number 9. Who is generally considered the mother of the civil rights movement? I think we all know this one.
Rosa Parks.
Yes!
Yes.
Rosa Parks, yes. And to end our quiz today, number 10. The best-selling, award-winning book, The Colour Purple, was also a hit movie starring Whoopi Goldberg. The author is...
Alice Walker.
Alice Walker again.
Yeah.
Well done, Maxine.
I think Maxine deserves a definite round of applause first for helping us out in the kitchen,
Absolutely.
showing us how to do our and secondly for being so knowledgeable.
Yeah.
So just tot up your scores for that part of the quiz and then tell us what you've got in total.
Yeah.
And the person who has the highest score gets a virtual plate of Saltfish and Akee with dumplings.
I got 6. I got 6
No. It's our viewers, not our people in the room.
No, I actually get the plate of food.
So Daniel, whilst we're waiting, do you want
Yeah.
to tell us what we're up to next week?
Yes, so I'll be making my official Facebook Live debut. So I'll be the host, taking over Catherine's role. I just wanted to say thank you to Catherine for all the hard work she's done to set up Facebook Live. Can we give Catherine a round? Yeah, she's just done a great job with Ola, of course, and all the wonderful contributions, Ashe included. And for me personally, it's a great project to be part of, and I'm really excited to be part of the Tech for Success. So next week we are talking movies. We're going to do a movie quiz and review. We're going to have Christine Rose, who's one of our members, join us. We're also going to have Gigi, who's going to come along and make his Facebook Live debut. So you know Gigi as one of our drivers and a law member of staff. So he's going to come in. So we're going to do a movie review of our favourite movies. Then we're going to have a little quiz. And we're going to get a little bit interactive as well, similar to this. We're going to bring some musical instruments. So we're going to use it as a little prompt for our quiz. Yeah, so really looking forward to that. So don't forget to like, share and comment. I've been Daniel, your host. This is Glenn.
But before we go, we have to talk about points.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah.
And I think, oh wait, where's Maxine?
Oh yeah, Maxine.
Ooh, Maxine was
Give
doing
her points.
well, but I
Did
didn't see her score yet.
Maxine
Maxine.
Maxine's got 9 altogether,
Wow, nice.
which I
Good
think
job.
means on both rounds.
All right, okay.
Jennifer got 7, but she says she's allergic to fish, so she doesn't want the saltfish. Thank you very much. So thank you so much,
Thank you.
and thank you too for hosting,
You're
for
welcome.
Aisha for being in the kitchen, for Maxine being in the
Yeah.
kitchen. We shall see you guys next week.
Thank you.
Bye.